We were all at the Tanger Center last night for the performing arts to see Beetlejuice, the musical, and the whole show was there. And Katie and I happened to be on the same row, Josie as well, and then Tripper, who's on in the evenings. And I'll say it, I was humiliated at the exact same time Katie was on a pedestal, cloud nine. And I'll give Katie some credit here in a second. She did something, she was handled it well.
Oh.
But there was a group of AMLs, all morning listeners, we didn't know, in front of us, like 4 women. And I noticed they kept looking, and they would get up, and they look, and they kept looking, and I'm like,
oh. I was wondering why some girl, like, you're all pointing at me. I'm like, I have crumbs on my face?
Well, you did.
What's going on?
You were eating a full-blown sandwich.
and so it was, I think, during intermission, right?
Yeah, it was right during the end of intermission, yes.
And we do have Josie on for her side, too. I mean, for her perspective. And during intermission, and they kept, in different looking. And I never assume people listen. I just don't assume that.
No, never.
But they kept looking, and then I didn't know if they were trying to, I didn't know what was going on.
All morning listeners.
All morning listeners. We didn't know this at the time. And so we're looking, and then I said something, and then they kept looking like back at Katie, and they to me go, "Is that Katie?" I know that's Katie from Jared and Katie in the morning. And I go, "Yes, it is." So like, "Oh my gosh, it's Katie." Another girl asked me, "It's like, really? That's Katie?" I'm like, "Yes, that's Katie."
The whole time, by the way, I don't know that this is happening because I am completely physically turned around talking to Mankisser Matt, Jason, and then yelling, "Hi, Mama Squid. Nice to meet you," in the row behind us.
Yeah.
So I don't even know this exchange was going on.
And they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's Katie. It's Katie. Like, it's really Katie." And then Katie turns around like, "What? What's happening?"
What?
And then Katie goes, "Oh, yeah." I said, "That's Jared, by the way." Like, Anyway, Katie.
Right.
It's all about Katie.
It's all the time.
That's fine. Whatever. I'm used to it at this point.
I said, and there's Josie, and then behind us, I said, the lineup, everybody right behind us. Well, because
Because you never know if it's going to be like, that's him, I want to punch him.
Oh, well, I can't help that.
Yeah, please, not during the play.
Yeah.
You're the only one with that worry.
I don't ever worry about that. But it's, of course, that's like the natural thing to do because we're not together all the time.
No, people
except
think
for
we are.
on the show,
Right.
So anytime it was like the opportunity for everybody to say hello.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. And like to spread the wealth and all that stuff.
Of course.
Josie, is that what you saw?
It was amazing and mortifying at the same time. I'm sitting there quietly talking to Jared, and Katie's, turned around, and this woman looks right at Jared, as he said, and said, "Is that Katie from Jared and Katie in the Morning?"
It looks at
and
me.
I want to respond, but at the same time, I really want Jared to respond because it was just that awesome.
Yeah.
And Jared goes, yeah, that's Katie. And she's like, "Oh, I knew it." And I said, this is Jared. And they were like, "Oh, Josie, I knew that was you." And I'm like, "Oh, poor Jared."
Yeah.
Jared was you. And then they found out about
Shot
Jason, like
liver.
you said.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Is that Jason eating a sandwich back?" Like, "That's Jason." I was like, "Man, kiss her, Matt." Oh. And I was like, "Man, Jared, I'm kind of feel bad, but I'm also dying inside laughing." I'm so sorry.
No, I know. Yeah, Josie looked at me and was like, "That was great." I'm like, "Yeah, sure was."
Yeah.
You're excited about everyone but me. That's okay, though.
They were very nice.
They were very-
very,
wow.
very
Oh, yeah,
kind.
very nice to
Very
Katie.
nice, yes. I do realize in this moment that I did not introduce Tripper, who was on the end of the aisle joining us for, I think, the first time at Tanger
Oh,
Center.
yeah.
So I forgot.
I did too.
I'm sorry,
It keeps
Tripper.
the weirdness away a little bit.
Just realized.
They put him down there on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on the very end. Oh, yeah, we didn't do that, did we? All right, Josie, thank you.
Yes. Can we please,
Yes.
for just a second, talk about how awesome Beetlejuice is?
It was great.
Funny, I think the funniest one, and I love Book of Mormon. I know that you, Jason, you didn't get a chance to see it.
I didn't see it either.
But that one to me always hails as the funniest Broadway show. But Beetlejuice takes the cake.
Hands down.
Oh.
So funny.
I think it's one of the funniest things I've seen, period. Movie, TV show.
Oh, good, Jared. I was getting nervous that some of the content, because of the religious background you were getting nervous of. Because
I was so nervous.
because it was like a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a movie on stage. Like they
So
didn't hold
good.
back anything.
Yeah.
Nope.
I was
Yeah.
lucky enough to see it like a year ago in New York. And I'm telling you, And this is not a slam at the original cast that I saw, but last night's talent blew the original out of the water.
It was phenomenal. The
I
guy-
was wondering about that because it was the best play I've ever seen of all time. It really was.
Yes.
And I've seen some plays on off Broadway and Broadway years ago, and one of them was really funny. But I was wondering because Katie got to see it, right? Comparing the differences, if it was it similar? Was it the same? What are the differences?
Well, the differences 100% were the singing, the talent of the singing. It was very strong in the show that I saw on Broadway in New York. But last night was just the show at Tanger. The singing and the talent are just it's hands
better.
above. Yes.
My favorite part of the play was how funny it was, but also the production and the special effects. I
Yes.
just couldn't get over the lighting and the changes and everything. What did they do it the same way in New York, or was this any different? Or
No, it was the exact same,
was.
and it was one of the things that I think I remember coming
Yeah,
coming
you
home
told
from the
me
trip.
you're like it's phenomenal.
Because if you're familiar with the movie, obviously it's like almost cult classic at this point, Beetlejuice growing up. The way that they were able to do the same special effects on stage and make it look just like the movie, it just blew me away
It was
because
crazy.
there was fire and there's different.
ruin it, but a
yeah.
huge thing.
But if you've seen the movie, there's fire and then there's different body parts and
Yeah.
then there's certain special effects that happen.
you
that
think how are they going to do this? And
Yeah.
and they do it.
And they do
Yeah.
it.
Or
That's
they
what's
won't do it.
crazy.
They did it anyway.
Yeah.
And the one thing that really got me, how I start thinking.
The part where you
is-
started crying?
Oh, did you cry? I cried.
Yeah,
didn't
Jason
cry.
cried.
I cried.
Jason cried.
Yeah, okay.
He's denying.
I
He was
did.
wiping his eyes. Yeah.
Actually, I felt some oil on my head. So
That's what he claims. There was oil on his head, but
But
wiping his eyes.
yeah, okay. The part where it was like it looked like it was. I'm not ruining it, but it looked like it was like a deep tunnel.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And it was
Yes.
Oh yeah,
and,
the part where you cried.
and then we were sitting there
Yeah.
on the towards the left hand side of the stage left, I guess you say.
Uh-huh.
But it looked like it went stage left in the deep tunnel. So I'm assuming that it did the same thing on the right or in the center.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that, right?
So I saw it the first time in the center seat, and when in
Did
the
it do the
center
same
seat,
thing?
yes, saw the same thing. But it did look like they were when we're facing it head on. It did look like the cast was running in between the lines a little bit.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you? If
I
you,
don't know. I still
Yeah.
couldn't
Oh,
figure
yeah,
out how
yeah.
it was looking like that because I was like, wait, is it too curved? I can't. It was like a visual special effect I
Yeah.
couldn't figure out.
And the way that they do the lighting also added, I think, a certain
Oh, gosh,
specialness
yes,
to that
everything.
too. Yeah, it was
And then
incredible.
Everything.
It was super. It's definitely the funniest play I've
that
ever
should
seen.
be the
Yeah.
most successful play, in my opinion. Like I know there's big successful plays, but what went into that
Yeah.
to me was There's not one person I would know that would go to that play and think it wasn't a good play.
No.
How could you not? I know there's certain plays, or like for instance, there's certain plays that might not appeal to certain demos, or
Sure.
or maybe one's more women friendly than men.
Like maybe Les Mis is so huge, but maybe some people are like just not into it for
Right.
whatever reason. They
Yeah.
don't like.
Translate.
Or
sure.
like Mean Girls. I love that play too. But Mean Girls might be maybe an older man might not like it.
Not
as
like
much.
it. Yeah.
Might not
Every
think,
single
yeah.
person
You can't
would,
not
would
like
love
it.
this play.
I mean, I've never seen a crowd so into it from the jump.
And I will say
Yeah.
that is, I don't think we've seen Tanger that way. I do not think that
No,
we
it
have
was
seen
different. It was a different
Tanger
vibe there. Dude.
Yeah.
that way, where it is interactive from the moment it started
so good.
till the very end, where people were basically jumping out of their seats to give a standing ovation.
And reacting to everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what I liked about this one so much, it was a big combination of it was certain plays are song, back to back to back. This was acting in between the songs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the songs itself were very comical and very funny.
Yeah.
And then what he was saying was funny. And then it's almost like at one point he was talking to the audience of Beetlejuice.
Uh-huh.
broke
The
the
Beetlejuice,
fourth
yeah.
wall,
You-
yes.
You did.
It was crazy. I loved it.
Every cast member or every character in Beetlejuice was funny.
Funny, super talented.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And not only just saying funny things, but the physical comedy was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
top notch. I mean, you're paying attention if you like all their mannerisms and the things they were doing
I liked
physically.
it better
was
than the movie.
Oh yeah.
I liked it
Oh, it's
better
funnier.
than the movie.
It's funnier.
I think
Yeah.
it was funnier, and he just
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
It's alive,
The
man.
delivery of his humor is unparalleled, I think.
Right.
And I noticed there was a sign when we walked in. I don't know if you noticed it, but there was two changes of actors too.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know if that's just one night. I don't know how that works. Do they do that if somebody gets sick, or it's just a rest night? So I'm not even sure if they were the actual original stars that are supposed to be there, but they were the best I've ever seen.
Oh, Lydia, her voice,
So good.
Yeah.
so powerful. And somebody
Great.
said she just graduated from high school.
Yes, she was so young.
Oh my gosh.
That's when I cried, was during the Lydia song.
Oh yeah, about her mom.
Just tears flowing. It was, and that to me, I think, is also a sign of success, where you're laughing so hard where
Right.
you can't control it, and then you feel the saddest of the sad too. They touched every emotion.
You
Two,
did.
two things real quick as we wrap this
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Beetlejuice at Tanger Center, tremendous.
Oh, can I just real quick? If you don't see it now, you will not see it again, because this is the end.
No.
Yes.
What?
I wanted to say that. Yeah.
What?
This is the end of the show for Beetlejuice.
Why?
Wow.
I think that they had some
I would
production
see that
costs. And
again.
I know
Production costs, I can see that.
costs for during COVID was one of the reasons.
Oh
But
my gosh, it's so good.
I did hear that after seeing it in New York, that this was going to be your not Tanger specific. Well, yeah, I mean Tanger
But
specific.
everyit,
That's the end of Beetlejuice.
So if you wanna see it,
yeah,
you better-
you better
if
see
there's-
it.
That is terrible because
Sorry,
that
I
was the
didn't
one
tell you.
play I would say if I ever had the opportunity
Yes.
to see it again, I would see that one again. Like Jersey Boys, I wanted to see that again.
Yeah.
This beats that, and I want to see that again. I'll never see it again.
Yeah, halfway through the play, because there's so many jokes, I'm like, I would see this again.
Yeah.
I
For
thought the same
sure.
thing. Two things real quick.
terrible.
Yeah.
One, Tanger Center requests any play that has any humor. I want Squid like he was sitting behind me. Because
Behind
I
you.
can hear you laughing, but
Yes.
I don't see you.
Yes.
And so, like, something funny happens, I'm laughing, I just hear Squid.
It is very
His
loud.
Squid laugh, and I loved it.
Yeah.
It is
There was,
honking.
yeah, there was one time where they made like a joke about punching a baby. I was the only one who laughed.
I was laughing, but not loud.
Yeah,
So I want that. And then
Yes.
two, Jason, you spelled Beetlejuice wrong on Facebook.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you
I
did.
fixed it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you did originally.
Yeah, I did because it was at midnight when I posted it.
He's posting a picture of the merchandise
Yeah.
that says Beetlejuice.
Well,
Yeah.
what happens is when
happens.
you start typing it in, sometimes it automatically defaults. So I just clicked the default, which was the wrong default in the first place because it wasn't the right hashtag, even if I spelt it right.
Okay.
Because it was supposed to be Beetlejuice the musical.
Okay.
Yes.
Because Jason normally has things, ask a lot of questions during it. So I told Josie, I said, "Oh, Jason's asking a bunch of questions. This is an intermission." She,
Yeah.
You weren't.
Yeah.
But I said, he's asking, why is he not a beetle and there's no juice anyway? I was like, is he really? I'm like, no, I'm kidding. He didn't say that. Anyway, tremendous. You got to
So
see
good.
it. You got to see it. You got to see it. All right.
I see what you did there. You did that 3 times.
I did on
See?
accident, but I am
Oh,
naturally a genius. I mean,
Really?
That was a success.
Sucks. Yes.
yeah. Sucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
inside joke. If you see it, you'll understand.
You'll get it.